Biden has ordered flags at half-staff after 6 people, including 3 children, were shot and killed at a private Christian school in Nashville. Overnight, investigators say they found more weapons at the shooter's home.
Plus, there's concern about an increase in armed robberies in Chicago's Brighton Park neighborhood and surrounding areas. In the past 5 days, there have been at least 18 robberies.
And the race for Chicago mayor is heating up. And 1 week from today, voters will decide who will lead the city for the next. This newscast with the Nashville and the nation in mourning.
Yeah, 6 people, including 3 children, were shot and killed at a private Christian school yesterday in Nashville. President Biden has ordered flags at half-staff. We have a live update on new information that came in overnight about this deadly shooting. We'll have that for you coming up in about 5 minutes or so.
But first, let's get a check on your weather right now. Here at home, Greg Dutra is standing by with your AccuWeather forecast. Greg?
Hey, good morning, and we're a little bit cooler than we were just 24 hours ago. Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s and lower 30s as you walk out the door. It's not so much of a difference, rather, in northeast Illinois, but it is in northwest Indiana, where your temps were closer to about 40 yesterday to kick it off. So a little bit of a stark contrast there. This afternoon, more in the way of clouds than sunshine, especially when you compare it to yesterday, but we do clear out our skies by later on tonight. And most of us do make it into the upper 40s to around 50. Now, some at the lakefront may be a little bit cooler this afternoon, probably mid to lower 40s there as a wind develops out of the northeast. But what we're tracking for everyone tomorrow morning is a brief run-in with some snowfall. Could be the last one of the season, although we know we usually get a one-off at some point during April. We'll talk more about that coming up, Ross.
We're looking at the travel times first, and they're anywhere from 40 minutes to 1 hour and 15 on that Kennedy because they've expanded the construction zone down to Division. We've got a couple of suburban crashes. We also have very slow traffic at the south end of northbound USABA Lakeshore Drive, 67th to 57th. That's kind of become the norm. We've got a crash that crews are trying to get cleared up in Elgin, Randall and Big Timber, bad spot. And then, of course, we've got a crash in Shanahan on Arsenal, just east of 55. Chopper 7's over it. This could have been so much worse, but it is that overturned semi in the ditch at the north end of the ExxonMobil refinery. Thankfully, it did not hit any of the pipelines, but it did knock down a utility pole. There was a drainage pipe there, and they do have part of Arsenal closed in that vicinity while they try to upright it with the heavy wreckers. Val and Terrell.
All righty, Roz. We'll check back in a little bit. Thank you. 3 past the hour. Right now, there is concern about an increase in armed robberies in Chicago's Brighton Park neighborhood and the surrounding areas.
In the past 5 days, there have been at least 18 robberies. Jessica D'Onofrio is live at the 9th Police District with the very latest on this. Jess.
Val and Terrell, Alderman Ray Lopez is urging anyone with information to come forward to police. Meanwhile, CPD has put out an alert to the community. It comes as concerns grow. Over 18 robberies, at least, in 4 police districts, mostly on the southwest side. An auto repair shop near 44th and Western is sharing this surveillance video. Employees say a vendor told them he was robbed outside their business Saturday morning, just before they opened. That's the same corner where this robbery was captured on video earlier this month.
It's just outrageous to me. And you know, we're doing everything we can to put more pressure on CPD. My local district's asking for more manpower, but you know, crime is like a balloon, and if you squeeze it here, it expands somewhere else.
Police say there were several other armed robberies in the same area within a 3-hour period on Saturday. All of them happened blocks apart on 47th Street. And Alderman Lopez says that police are trying to identify patterns to see if all of these are connected. Val and Terrell.
All right, Jess, thank you. We are following breaking news. At the southern border, at least 36 migrants are dead after a fire broke out at an immigration detention center in northern Mexico. Video shows people gathering outside of the building as emergency services arrive. The site is across the border from El Paso, Texas, at a major crossing point for migrants entering the United States. And back to the breaking news update out of Nashville. President Biden has ordered flags at half-staff after yesterday's school shooting in Nashville.
Yeah, this morning we have new surveillance images from the school. We want to warn you that you will find this disturbing. 3 adults and 3 9-year-olds were killed. So we now have photos of 2 of the victims of yesterday's school shooting. Here's Dr. Catherine Kuntz, head of the school. Mike Hill on the right there was a custodian. ABC's Lindsay Watts is live from Nashville with where things stand this morning in the investigation and what we know. Lindsay, good morning.
Good morning to you, Val and Terrell. Nashville police say this was a targeted attack, that the shooter had mapped out this school, noting entry points and surveillance cameras. We're also getting a look at that surveillance footage showing the moments leading up to the deadly attack. This morning, newly released surveillance video showing the moments leading up to the deadly school shooting in Nashville. The shooter firing through a glass door, armed with 2 assault-type weapons and a pistol, seen here in pictures released by police. Once inside, authorities say Audrey Hale shot and killed 6 people, including 3 children.
I was literally moved to tears to see this and the kids as they were being ushered out of the building.
The young victims, 9 years old. They're identified as Evelyn Dickhouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney. The head of the school, Catherine Kuntz, was also killed, along with teacher Cynthia Peak and custodian Mike Hill.
We just need to embrace those that are grieving, because we grieve with them.
Police patrol cars outside the school were left riddled with bullet holes. Authorities say Hale fired at officers from a second-story window. According to police, 2 officers ran toward the gunfire, shooting and killing Hale just 14 minutes after the first 911 call.
There's multiple victims down inside the school. Shooter is down now as well.
Authorities say they strongly believe Hale, described as a 28-year-old female who identifies as transgender, was a former student at the private Christian school. Overnight, police say they found more guns and evidence at Hale's home. A motive remains under investigation. Gun violence is the #1 cause of death for children in America, recently surpassing car crashes. In Washington, advocates for gun reform once again demanding tougher measures.
This person had 2 AR-15s and a handgun. You don't need this to go hunting. You don't need that to protect your family.
Congressman Tim Burchett, who represents Knoxville, Tennessee, called the shooting horrible, but says there is no need to ban assault weapons.
I don't think you're going to stop the gun violence. The common thread is you've got somebody who's mentally ill and evil.
There's a Presbyterian church that's linked to this school, and this morning we've learned that one of the young victims is the daughter of the pastor of that church, 9-year-old Haley Scruggs. The family releasing a statement saying, "We are heartbroken. She was such a gift." Terrell.
Awful stories that are coming out. Lindsay Watts in Nashville this morning. Thank you for the update. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin is also talking about this morning. The senator says this school shooting shows more work needs to be done on gun control.
The fact that this is a daily occurrence in America is unconscionable. I urge my colleagues to come together on a bipartisan basis. We can't say that we've solved this problem or even addressed it seriously. We need to pass more reform to keep guns out of dangerous hands and to keep our children safe.
We'll continue to follow any developments on the Nashville school shooting. When we're not on the air, you can find the very latest on ABC7Chicago.com and on our news apps.
It's very sad. 8 past the hour this morning, the race for Chicago mayor is heating up. In 1 week from today, voters will decide who will lead the city for the next 4 years.
Both candidates, Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallis, are trying to court undecided voters. ABC7's Christian Picos is live at the Super Voting site in the Loop with more on this. Christian, good morning.
Valenzuela, good morning. Of course, the busy mayoral campaign election season is in the home stretch with Election Day just 7 days from today. So naturally, both candidates are working hard to tout their support and attack each other's viewpoints to win over those last-minute voters. Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallis met for a discussion on the environment last night on the Lower West Side. Vallis vowed to bring, quote, environmental justice to every community, while Johnson says city neighborhoods have been seen as dumping grounds for waste. Earlier in the day, Johnson blasted Vallis' handling of CPS pensions, while Vallis accused Johnson of being, quote, bought and paid for by the Chicago Teachers Union.
And the Paul Vallis budgetary wizardry was revealed for what it is, a dangerous trick that kicked the can down the road.
The CTU is actually drawing dues from their membership, and they're using it to fund Brandon Johnson's campaign.
Now, both candidates will also meet for another scheduled televised debate later this evening. Now, remember, early voting remains in place until Election Day on April 4th. The Chicago Board of Elections also reports that more than 90,000 votes have already been cast. That's a combination of both early votes and vote-by-mail ballots that have been returned. Terrell, back to you.
All right, Christian Picos here in the Loop. Christian, thank you. Secret recordings are expected to be played today in the trial of the so-called ComEd 4. Key government witness and former ComEd executive Fidel Marquez testified yesterday. His secret recordings are a crucial piece of evidence. The defense has already tried to pick apart or even take this part out of the trial. The judge agreed to a minor edit here. The ComEd 4 are accused of trying to bribe former House Speaker Mike Madigan for favorable legislation.
Happening today, Aurora honors the holy month of Ramadan. The city council will welcome leaders and youth from the city's Muslim community. Mayor Richard Irvin and the council members will host a prayer service and a daily breaking of the fast tonight at sunset. The events begin at 6 at Aurora City Hall.
Also coming up today, and there are just some jobs that I could never do, and this is one of them, the restoration on a 121-year-old Tiffany window at Chicago's Second Presbyterian Church. Workers will start removing panels and thousands of individual pieces of glass from that 16-foot high window. The parts will be cleaned and restored. It'll take 3 days just to do that.
Yeah.
The window called Mount of the Holy Cross has been sitting in place for more than a century.
That's incredible.
It is.
A big celebration for Chicago's theater community. The 49th annual Jeff Awards were held last night at Park West and Lincoln Park. The event celebrates excellence in Chicago theater. Award nominations honor 167 artists, behind the scenes teams, and 30 theater companies.
It's a great celebration.
It looks like quite the party.
It does, right? And kudos to our theater scene and our theaters, and a shout out to all of them right here in Chicago.
And we got a lot of great ones.
We sure do. Live and local news just getting started this morning, streaming out loud. When we come back, the latest on the recovery effort down south. Days after deadly tornadoes swept through that area.
But first, Greg's got your AccuWeather forecast. That's coming up next.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to have you with us early today as we look over Wacker Drive and the Chicago River and sunrise on the buildings as well, you're not at the near west side. I mean, you can see the near west side way down Wacker Drive there, and now you can't. Now you're looking at the Loop on our live camera with mostly cloudy skies. And of course, the Sabo Lakeshore Drive here and a calm Lake Michigan, much calmer than it was yesterday when winds were just ripping out of the north right down the lake. Now, that was a good thing for northwest Indiana. It kept them warmer yesterday morning. Since you don't have those winds off the lake this morning, your temperatures have dropped to the upper 20s. Clouds have started streaming in. Yeah, I know we saw that sunlight on the buildings, but that's, of course, rising in the east. Clouds are arriving from the west. It'll be a pretty gray day for us, at least the first half of it. But during the afternoon, these clouds will start to thin out just a little bit. Our highs will be in the upper 40s to lower 50s, a little bit cooler lakeside as a very light lake breeze starts to develop later this afternoon. But clear skies tonight. If you're watching for that planetary alignment, should be just fine viewing for that. And then tomorrow morning, you got to watch out for something else, and that's snow aligning with our northernmost counties. That'll happen about mid to late morning hours. Could locally reduce visibility. So I'm not not super concerned about it. There's no AccuWeather alert day or anything out, but it could be a bit of a pain for a brief period during your early morning drive, and we could catch some quick accumulations. Not enough to break out the snowblower, but enough to make you really, really want it to finally be spring. And it is in the 7-day forecast. Yes, it may be a little bit cooler lakeside today, but temperatures do start to warm up. We'll be in the mid-60s on Friday. Could come with some stronger storms there. We'll talk more about that storm potential, but afterwards, temps, they stay in the mid to upper 50s. Ross?
We're still looking at high travel times, 45 minutes to an hour 15 on that inbound Kennedy. And that means the Edens is going to be slow too, about a half an hour heading in. Now, the other construction zone that I wanted to mention, they did close that ramp from the outbound 290 to the northbound tri-state right on schedule. It will be closed through the end of next year. And the detour, you really have to watch for the signs because they want you to continue westbound on the 290 up to Lake Street where you can flip around and then access northbound 294, but it's one little sign at that ramp and it's in a construction zone, so you really have to pay attention to it. We'll check traffic again for you in about 10 minutes or so. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, thank you. We are hearing more remarkable stories of survival following the historic tornado outbreak that devastated entire communities in Mississippi. And now the region is bracing for more storms this week. ABC's Lionel Moise has the latest.
This morning, rescue crews will resume the daunting task of digging through flattened homes and buildings in Mississippi after the weekend tornado outbreak that claimed at least 21 lives in the state.
This is the inside of a massive water tower that snapped in half and then spilled all over the ground here. And you can get a sense of the damage from above and the monumental task required to rebuild this town.
We now have a picture of one of the youngest victims, 2-year-old Aubrey Green. Another life lost, Ethan Herndon, whose family calls him a gentle giant. He died along with his 1-year-old daughter Riley when the tornado slammed into their home. The family of Wanda Early says she died while driving to work. Her daughter calls her an amazing person.
People don't have anything.
At least 27 tornadoes tore through 5 states, but Mississippi bore the brunt, one twister leaving a trail of destruction 59 miles long. More survival stories are emerging. Sonia Barnes says she grabbed her 2-month-old grandbaby and took cover in the bathroom.
I was just thinking, how was I going to protect her?
But you put the baby in your jacket?
Yes, my shirt.
In the town of Black Hawk, the 100-year-old community center is destroyed, but it's the little things left behind that bring hope. Like this piano waterlogged. But local residents say that piano, like this community, can and will be rebuilt.
And now forecasters are warning of severe thunderstorms possible in the south on Thursday. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Local volunteers are headed to Mississippi to help with the recovery. Red Cross volunteers are flying out today. We talked to Chicago residents with family in the area hit the hardest, and to one retired nurse who was deployed to 5 national disasters in the last year alone.
Every one of our family members on my mother's side comes from that town or within 50 miles of that town.
When the world experiences these disasters that are just so devastating to people, you just want to be able to help and make it better.
New Inspirational Missionary Baptist Church on the west side also gathering supplies to ship out this week. Anyone is welcome to stop by and drop off donations. We're back in 90 seconds. The grand jury investigating former President Trump's alleged hush money payments could meet again later this week. Jurors convened in New York courthouse yesterday, potentially hearing from other witnesses in the case. They will eventually decide whether to indict the former president on payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Trump has insisted he's done nothing wrong.
A CTA worker will be in bond court this morning to face felony battery charges. Prosecutors say Emmett Richardson beat a 54-year-old man at the LaSalle Street Blue Line station on Saturday. Police found the victim unresponsive in a stairwell. He later died at the hospital. Richardson has been suspended without pay, pending further investigation. In an update, and we talked about this yesterday, police say a 15-year-old is now charged with attempted murder. A 20-year-old man was found beaten on a CTA platform. We talked about this yesterday morning. This happened Sunday, 69th Street at the Red Line station there. The attack left the 20-year-old with critical injuries.
Dozens of vendors at a Little Village discount mall will get to stay a little longer. The city of Chicago says it worked out a 6-week extension. The vendors were supposed to be out by today. A spokesperson for Mayor Lori Lightfoot says there's now a short-term solution to move the vendors to the former CVS at 27th and Pulaski.
All right, so right now we're going to link up with everybody that's watching Good Morning America. Tanya Babbage will have a news update on TV. You'll see it right here, too, in just a bit.
And then when we come back, keep an eye on the sky this evening, the celestial event that you do not want to miss.
Plus, we have expanded coverage of the Nashville school shooting. That's a little bit later on this morning, about 10 minutes from now, 7:30.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:23. I'm Tanya Babbage. Chicago police have issued a warning to residents of the Southwest Side after a rash of robberies. A lot of the robberies happened in the Brighton Park neighborhood. One repair shop near 44th and Western shared this surveillance video. Employees say a vendor told them he was robbed outside their business Saturday morning. That's the same corner where this robbery was captured on video earlier this month. Police say there were multiple armed robberies in the same area within a 3-hour period on Saturday. All were blocks apart on 47th Street. Let's get a check of our ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. Here's meteorologist Greg Dutra.
Good morning, and our temperatures over the next few days, they start turning the corner towards spring. Of course, there's some bumps in the road. It is spring after all. One of those being early morning snow showers for tomorrow, possibly impacting your morning and drive, especially along or north of Interstate 90. Now, as you start getting into the middle and end of the week, our temperatures will get above normal. 53 on Thursday. The Cubs home opener may see some scattered showers later on in the day, but at least it's not freezing and snowing. A chance of some stronger or maybe even severe storms there on Friday before we stay somewhat warm through the weekend with temperatures remaining above normal. Roz is up next with traffic.
If it's a party, guess who's going to be dancing? Karaoke, guess who's going to do karaoke? I don't go by the adage, you only get one shot at life. No.
With this good, strong heart, the doctors made sure that she could live life to the fullest.
It's really hard to put into words a proper thank you for people who've literally saved your life.
And I thank them from the bottom of my heart.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we've got a problem in Northwest Indiana, and this just happened. Northbound on I-65, the exit to westbound 8094 blocked with this overturned semi, and Indiana State Police say could take them 3 hours to get that cleared up and to get that ramp reopened. So expect delays northbound on I-65. As we scoot on over to the Illinois side, we are looking at some pretty high travel times, 45 minutes to an hour 15. Guess where that is? Yeah, on the Kennedy. It is slow. They've expanded the construction zone from Montrose all the way down to Division.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now, 7:27, chilly 32 degrees outside. Greg is back with your forecast in just a bit. Well, a stunning planetary event will decorate the night sky beginning tonight. It is the alignment of 5 planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus. The best chance to see them is just after sunset. Experts say they will be visible to the naked eye just underneath the crescent moon. The event will last for 2 weeks.
That's really cool.
It's super cool.
I loved it.
Will we be asleep?
We will.
You probably, you stay up later than me. I think I'd pass out.
What time is that again that we're viewing around
Just
here?
after sunset.
7, okay, that's not, what time is 7 something these days? Are you in bed that early now?
Sometimes. I'm falling asleep at that time.
You're turning into Tracy Butler.
I am. It's not a bad thing,
It's
but you're
not.
right. I am
it's
turning
amazing.
into her.
I cannot go to sleep that early.
I know.
Well, good luck and we'll see if the clouds part too. You might be able to see it tonight.
That part.
We'll talk to Greg in just a little bit. In the meantime, coming up here this morning, we're hearing from Chicago's mayoral candidates with just 1 week to go until the runoff election.
Plus, new developments overnight in that deadly school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to have the very latest for you coming up next.
You're watching ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Now at 7:30, taking a look at the morning's top stories. The investigation continues after 6 people, including 3 children, were shot and killed at a private Christian school. This happening in Nashville, Tennessee. Overnight, police say they found more weapons at the shooter's home. Meanwhile, new video has been released of the moments when the suspect entered the building. We're going to get an update live from Nashville in less than 5 minutes.
Back here at home, there's concern about an increase in armed robberies in Chicago's Brighton Park neighborhood and surrounding areas. In the past 5 days, there have been at least 18 robberies. An auto repair shop near 44th and Western shared this video right here. A vendor being robbed outside the business on Saturday morning.
The race for Chicago mayor is heating up. In 1 week from today, voters will decide who will lead the city for the next 4 years. Both candidates, Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallis, are trying to court undecided voters. They'll be back out today trying to garner more support. Crunch time now.
I'm like, let's get it over with. I feel like we're saying the same thing every day.
It is time. 1 week
Yeah.
from today, we will know. So
Yep.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Val Warner.
And good to be with you. I'm Terrell Brown. Let's go outside, see how we're doing right now. 32 degrees, so it is a little chilly out there this morning. Greg, I know you're keeping an eye on this. We've got all kinds of stuff to talk about this week.
We do, yeah. A warmer day today for most than it was yesterday. Upper 40s to lower 50s. A lot of us got stuck in the mid 40s yesterday. But it will be cooler at the lakefront. Winds develop out of the northeast and also pretty cloudy through at least the first half of the day. Now, clouds start breaking up right around sunset. Perfect for that planetary viewing if you want to do that. And then as we get into tomorrow morning, the clouds are right back in the area. And yes, that is a chance of snow showers. Not a mistake. I did indeed punch in snow for early Wednesday morning. Looks like it'll mainly be during the middle to end of the morning rush and could cause some visibility problems up off to the north for a very short period. I'm not really concerned about it, otherwise that'd be an AccuWeather alert day, but it's enough that it may slow us down. Then on Thursday, showers arrive late after the Cubs home opener. Could see a couple of those showers be strong or severe on Friday. We'll track out that risk too coming up. Ross?
Still looking at some pretty high travel times, 45 minutes to now we're looking at almost an hour 20 on the inbound Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown. And the Eden's not as bad merging in. It's between 25 and 30 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. But we've got a new suburban crash. This is in southwest suburban Willowbrook. It's at the intersection of Route 83 and Plainfield Road. Just happened, so I suspect we're going to see some backups if they don't get that out of there pretty quickly. Now, on the Indiana side of things, we're going to see these backups for a while. We've got northbound I-65, the ramp going to westbound 8094 blocked with an overturned semi. There's the snapshot from the INDOT website, and state police say it could be 2.5 hours until they are able to safely upright this thing, get it out of there, and reopen that ramp. So right now, the delays on northbound 65, I'm going to go back to that map and look at it because they're pretty extensive. We are seeing some delays that start from before Ridge Road all the way up to that whole interchange. So we'll keep an eye on it for you, Val and Terrell, let you know when they get it open.
All right, Roz, thank you. We want to get back to that breaking news update out of Nashville, Tennessee. President Biden has ordered flags at half-staff after yesterday's school shooting there.
Yeah, and we have pictures of two of the victims. It's Catherine Kuntz right there, the head of the school. Mike Hill on the right was a custodian. One more adult and 3 9-year-olds, babies, were killed. This morning we have new pictures from the school, and we want to warn you that you will find this disturbing. ABC's Lindsay Watts reports from Nashville.
Alan Terrell, disturbing new video released by police shows the shooter armed with multiple weapons entering the school prior to the deadly rampage. This morning, newly released surveillance video showing the moments leading up to the deadly school shooting in Nashville. The shooter firing through a glass door, armed with 2 assault-type weapons and a pistol, seen here in pictures released by police. Once inside, authorities say Audrey Hale shot and killed 6 people, including 3 children.
I was literally moved to tears to see this and the kids as they were being ushered out of the building.
The young victims, 9 years old. They're identified as Evelyn Dickhouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney. The head of the school, Catherine Kuntz, was also killed, along with teacher Cynthia Peak and custodian Mike Hill.
We just need to embrace those that are grieving because we grieve with them.
Police patrol cars outside the school were left riddled with bullet holes. Authorities say Hale fired at officers from a second-story window. According to police, 2 officers ran toward the gunfire, shooting and killing Hale just 14 minutes after the first 911 call.
There's multiple victims down inside the school. Shooter is down now as well.
Authorities say they strongly believe Hale, described as a 28-year-old female who identifies as transgender, was a former student at the private Christian school. Overnight, police say they found more guns and evidence at Hale's home. A motive remains under investigation. Police say Hale prepared for yesterday's attack with detailed maps and also left behind writings that will be part of the investigation. Val and Terrell.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. We are hearing from people across the country and from victims of gun violence.
Yeah, Ashby Beasley, who survived the Highland Park parade shooting, happened to be in Nashville when this whole thing happened.
How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them?
Beasley spoke on CNN last night. She said that she was about to get lunch with a friend, and then she heard about the shooting.
my heart broke. And this is where we're at. We have children living through multiple mass shooting incidences. What are we doing?
We're going to keep watching all this and what's happening right now in Nashville. You can get updates when we're not on the air through our website and our news apps. And more news coming your way in 90 seconds. We'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone. Watching cloud cover roll into the area now. It's not the thickest cloud cover. It's also not the lowest cloud cover, but it's enough that it's blotting out the sunshine, making for kind of a gray late morning and what'll be a pretty gray early afternoon. But after about 3 o'clock or so, we should go back to partly cloudy skies. We'll stay mainly clear through a good chunk of tonight, but temperatures don't go too far, probably about the mid to upper 30s as nighttime lows, as clouds arrive shortly after midnight, and then we deal with a chance of snow. I was talking about this earlier. Yes, some snow showers possible for your early Wednesday morning commute, mainly along and north of Interstate 90. And I think it starts mixing over more with rainfall by noon as this ripples on through into northwest Indiana. Problem counties will probably be northern Cook County, McHenry County, and also Lake County for those early morning snow showers. Then we start warming things up. 53 degrees for the Cubs home opener there, although some scattered showers a little bit later on in the day. Expect those snow showers to, again, give way to that. Then 65 degrees on Friday. The one thing we are watching on Friday is the chance for strong to severe storms. Right now, the day 4 outlook has us at a 15% chance, a little bit higher risk off to the west, but this definitely warrants keeping a close eye on for Friday afternoon. Ross?
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on things in northwest Indiana because that is the big trouble spot right now. We've got this long delay starting at 49th Avenue on northbound I-65 all the way up to that westbound 8094 ramp, which is completely blocked because of this overturned semi. And according to Indiana State Police, it's going to be 2 hours plus before they can upright it and clear it off of that ramp. Let that traffic filter through. So a good morning to think about your best alternate to I-65. As we make our way to the Illinois side of things, traffic is very slow right now. 50 minutes to an hour 20. That is going to be the range of travel times heading into the city. Of course, the Kennedy has the highest travel time at an hour, almost an hour 20. They have expanded the construction zone now with the 2 left lanes closed from Montrose all the way down to Division. And we also have bad delays south end of northbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 67th to 57th in the construction zone. Val and Terrell.
I get off of Lakeshore Drive now. Before I even get to that area. I don't even want to deal with it anymore.
Right.
It's awful.
Yeah, you got to figure out the ways to keep
get around
sanity.
it. Yep, you're right. All right, let's get into what we're talking about this morning. And we start with new music from Whitney Houston. The late singer's family released an album of her gospel songs, including never released music.
And they sat down exclusively with ABC's Deborah Roberts to talk about her music and her legacy.
She was the voice of a generation with mega hits like I Want to Dance with Somebody and I Will Always Love You.
Tell me so.
And 10 years after the loss of Whitney Houston, her brother Gary and sister-in-law Pat
still singing her praises. The world lost a global superstar. But they lost their Nippy, the girl whose unmistakable voice was discovered in the church choir.
So that he can use me.
Now that teenage Whitney is back with us in a new gospel album, I Go to the Rock. Pat and Gary releasing 6 songs young Whitney recorded but never released.
When you look at the cover, I Go to the Rock, how did you come up with this? What do you want people to take away from this?
The way I interpret it is going to the source of power, of strength, of love. I mean, just the impact that she had over the audience and how she felt. She was doing it for herself.
Whitney never followed trends. In my opinion, she set them. She never tried to be like anyone else or try to sound like anyone else. She was just Whitney Houston.
And gospel music inspired Whitney throughout life, she says.
The Preacher's Wife, the only other gospel album released by the singer in 1996.
She found superstardom in pop music, but Whitney's first stage New Hope Baptist Church, seen here in the documentary released in tandem with the new album, where Whitney found her wings, guided by her mother, the choir director.
What was it that gospel meant to her?
This is who Whitney was. This was her life, and she's been getting a chance to expose it, where it came from, where it was designed.
It didn't matter where she was in the world, she was definitely going to sing gospel. It's her refuge. And when you feel that strongly about something, it permeates through.
What do you think this does for her legacy?
She left an indelible mark on all of us with her voice. And it's a moment in time for everyone to just sit back and take a look at why you fell in love with Whitney Houston.
People forget what you do, what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel.
We're just hoping that everyone loves it as much as we do, because it comes from the heart.
The truth. I know, right?
Right. It just makes you miss her even more.
I thought the same thing, and there will never be another like her.
That's the thing. It's like they're just built different. It's like her and Freddie Mercury. Like there's one.
Yeah.
And then they break the mold, and you never get another one of those.
Yeah.
I don't think you want another one.
No.
Yeah. No.
Oh, well said. And how lucky are we to have experienced it? And it all began in the church.
Yep.
Going to the Rock. All right, I want to switch gears, talk about Starbucks here. And Reps with the Coffee Company launched a new site that's supposed to help you order the perfect drink based on your zodiac sign.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they partnered with an app for horoscopes and psychics called Sanctuary. The website is starbucksstarsigns.com. First, you choose your zodiac sign, like Taurus or Virgo. Then you say whether you plan to drink it in the morning or the afternoon, because that matters apparently.
Oh.
And then eventually, it tells you what your ideal drink is, and then there's a link so you can order it online, of course.
Of course, right? So, for example, Terrell and Greg are Tauruses. So, your results from this site revealed that his power words were dependable, focused, and resilient.
Ooh.
And it suggests that the drink that you guys would have would be the matcha latte.
Oh, persistent, empathetic. Okay. What do you think? I mean,
it's not a good matcha for me.
Not a good matcha for you.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'm just kind of going along with it. Yeah,
I don't know anything about signs.
No.
Roz, you're a Sagittarius, so her suggested drink is vanilla sweet cream nitro cold brew.
I swear to God, I have one of those.
You're always
Are you serious?
Yes. Grow into your best self by staying on the move. Okay, there it goes.
Wait, what?
Greg has your drink.
Right now.
Seriously?
He ordered it, yeah. Best self by staying on the move. You definitely stay on the move. You love adventure. It's more fun with your friends. So bring, on your next.
Yeah, thank you for moving that monitor closer so I can read it.
Man.
Yeah, I think that works for you, Rupp.
Vanilla nitro cold brew, right?
That's crazy.
Man.
You're drinking Roz's drink, so how is it?
It's great. It's fantastic.
Is it going to be bouncing off the walls in about?
I had cold brew.
But you don't drink coffee though, do you?
Oh, yes, I do. I drink it before I even get here. But then I stop.
Get you a cold brew.
I may have to try one. Because
nitro cold brew.
Right.
Super smooth. It's not like acidic.
Yeah.
It helps with the tummy if you got an issue with
Oh,
coffee
well,
in the tummy.
okay, that sounds good already.
Yeah.
All right, Starbucks might be onto something.
Okay.
Oh, for you, Val.
Yep, I'm a Pisces. Oh, read it. Yeah,
Yep, you're Pisces. So your suggested drink is the dragon drink.
Ooh.
I wonder what makes it a dragon.
Creating without limitations is your, why does that go so fast? With inspired by run with what?
Don't be afraid to push against the horizon of what's possible. You might be surprised by the results of tapping into your joy.
Tapping into your joy.
Oh, yeah.
I hear across the street, Jesse is awesome at making drinks at Starbucks.
He makes dragon drinks?
I've asked him, yeah.
Okay,
For you especially.
I just got mine from him this morning.
I'll have to try a dragon drink. Let me tell you something. Zoe likes those drinks. The dragon drinks.
What is it?
I don't even know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's like tea.
Oh.
Oh, like a medicine
sweet.
ball.
No, I do love a good medicine ball.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's I don't know.
Like a passion fruit Kool-Aid kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Fuddy-duddy. Just like vanilla cold brew is like branching out for me.
Right.
Is that sweet? Because
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I like something that has a little bit of sweetness,
Me
not
too.
too much.
Not too much.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
Eyewitness News, stream it out loud this morning. We'll take a quick break. We're back in 90 seconds. Hang on.
The spring break travel rush is on, and the surge in demand is raising concern.
Yeah, the industry is continuing to struggle with staffing shortages and aviation incidents. Pete Montaigne has more from Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia.
Spring break travel is soaring back to normal and renewing worry that your flight could be canceled. Meltdowns plagued the FAA in January, Southwest Airlines over the holidays, and industry-wide last summer.
The air travel system is under great stress.
The Federal Aviation Administration is already warning of a shortage of air traffic controllers that could cause increased delays at New York's 3 major airports this summer. There, a key air traffic control facility is at only 54% staffing.
We're seeing it with delays, we're seeing it with cancellations, and that is leading some travelers to say, you know what, I would travel more if we could fix that air travel experience.
The latest figures from travel site Hopper show many travelers are concerned about flight disruptions. 20% of Hopper's spring break travelers are buying extra trip protection. That's on top of rising airfare, up 4%, Hopper says, compared to 2019.
They were quite pricey this time of year, I guess, due to spring break and due to what's going on in the economy.
They go up one day, they go down the next day. Just be diligent, be on point, and when you see that good price you want, hit the button.
Even still, industry figures say 158 million Americans will fly for spring break. That's an average of 2.6 million travelers each day.
We're expecting this spring break to likely break records for number of travelers who are getting out there and how much they're spending, given the huge demand coming out of the pandemic.
The top destinations, Las Vegas, Orlando, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and Miami, where the airport says demand is 20% higher than 2019. So high that officials are asking you to show up 3 hours before a domestic flight instead of the typical 2 hours.
There are very few off-peak times right now for us. We have been the best alternative to leaving the country since COVID.
3 hours before your flight?
Isn't that
Do you ever get there 2 hours before?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
So now they want me to do 3. Good luck.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
Good luck. All right, well, this year's spring break travel rush is expected to top pre-pandemic levels.
I mean, I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Right, but paying a whole heck of a lot more to actually get on the plane, and now I got to wait 3 hours in the airport.
And heaven forbid they don't cancel or delay your flight.
Oh, that's right.
That part is so bad.
Oh,
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Eyewitness News, streaming at 7, continues after a break.
It was a royal corgi visit at Madame Tussauds Museum.
Yeah, the furry friends, which were late Queen Elizabeth's favorite dog breed, got a VIP tour at the London Museum's new Royal Palace attraction. The late Queen's figure is reunited with the late Duke of Edinburgh. Also on display, an updated figure of King Charles III comes just ahead of his coronation, which is on May 6th, when they're still trending.
Are really cute,
so
though.
cute. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Just their proportions, like.
Yes,
right?
That's what makes them adorable. I wonder how they enjoyed their visit.
Oh, I'm sure they loved it.
Yeah. Hey, and before we end the hour, whether you like it smooth or crunchy, the TSA says peanut butter is a liquid.
No, it's not.
So that means you aren't allowed to bring large containers of it onto planes. The TSA defines a liquid as something with no definite shape that takes the shape of its container. Therefore, if you're packing peanut butter, it must be in a 3.4-ounce container to pass through security.
Okay, that's not a super appetizing view of peanut butter.
No, it's
not. They don't
not.
use that on the commercial.
Kind of gross.
Well, the thing is, I mean, and some of it's really, really runny. Like I've gotten peanut butter from Trader Joe's. Yeah, right. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mix it up for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then I've had, but you get some Jif, and I've had it too, where it looks like that, where you could ruin a piece of bread trying to spread it on there with a knife.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean.
Totally off topic. You know that knife that the guy has in the totally unappetizing picture?
Yes.
Those are the best sandwich knives. Like, get one if you
With
don't
the
have
rounded.
rounded and then a
Yes.
little serrated. Like, you
Yes.
can spread mustard like a champ. With those. It makes a better sandwich.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Mustard or mayo?
Mustard.
Mustard or mayo?
Mustard.
Mustard or mayo?
Both. I do.
What about you?
Mayo.
I don't mind mustard, but it's not my favorite. Okay, we're out of time. Thank you. Well, you started it. You made me think about it. For Greg Roz, I'm Val Warner.
And I'm Terrell Brown. Thank you so much for watching Eyewitness News at 7 a.m. Tanya Babbage is working on a news update. We'll see her plus Greg and Roz with weather and traffic. That's coming up in just a bit. Have a great day, everybody.
This has been Eyewitness News, streaming at